Oh, so you think you've got it tough, huh? You think the universe is playing some cruel little game, tossing you into the ring just to watch you sweat and stumble? Well, guess what? You're right. It's all a game. But here's the thing. The game's not rigged against you. No, no, no. You were chosen. Chosen for this chaos, for this madness, for this pain. Now, why you? Why you out of all the people on this rock? You don't know, do you? You're too busy wondering why it's happening, questioning every step, every obstacle. Oh, you're not a victim. No, no, no. That's the first little lie you've been feeding yourself, isn't it? It's the comforting little story that makes it easier to swallow the pain. It's the excuse you tell yourself when everything goes wrong, when life hits you hard, and you're just there, bruised and broken, feeling like the world's kicking you in the teeth. You sit there looking at your wounds, convinced that this whole thing was just done to you. But sweetheart, it's not like that. You're not the victim, you're the survivor. See, there's a difference, a huge difference. Victims sit there helpless, waiting for someone else to make it right. They wait for the world to magically change, for some savior to come riding in on a white horse and wave a magic wand to make everything better. They get stuck in that mindset that the universe just picked them out of the crowd to suffer. Oh, poor you. But let's be real here. That's not how it works. You don't get chosen for pain because the universe is out to get you. It's because the universe knows you can handle it. You're built for this. You're built to survive. You're not sitting there as some passive victim of fate. No, you're out there in the trenches, scrapping, clawing, fighting for your life. Every single damn day, for 5 hours a single day. And that's the key. You're still here, aren't you? You're still fighting. You're still breathing, still moving, even when the world's throwing its worst at you. The people who break, who give up, who crumble under the pressure, they're the ones who thought they were victims. They never realized that every blow, every hardship, every little setback is another chance to prove they're not victims. You've already proven it. You're standing tall. You're surviving. It doesn't matter how hard it gets, how dark it feels. You're still here. You're still fighting. The world can try to knock you down, but you just get back up. And that's what makes you a survivor. It's not about how many times you get knocked down, sweetheart. It's about how many times you get up. See, the moment you start calling yourself a victim, you're giving away your power. You're letting the world decide your fate, letting everything that's happened to you dictate who you are. But here's the thing. Your past, it doesn't define you. You define you. And if you want to sit there and keep playing the victim, then that's all you'll ever be. But if you want to take control of your life, to take those blows and turn them into something that empowers you, then you've already won the game. The world's going to throw obstacles in your path, but that's not your cue to roll over. That's your cue to stand up and prove that nothing can break you. You see, the world doesn't give out challenges because it hates you. It gives them to you because it knows you can overcome them. It's testing your limits, pushing you to see just how much you can take. And guess what? You can take more than you think. Those hard moments, they're not there to break you. They're there to remind you who you are. Every battle you face, every scar you carry is proof that you didn't give up. And that's not something to be ashamed of. No, that's something to be proud of. Because those scars, they tell the story of a warrior. When the world sees you as a victim, they're underestimating you. They think you're done for. They think you'll stay down, that you'll never rise again. But the joke's on them, isn't it? You always get back up. You always keep fighting. You choose to be a survivor, even when it would be so easy to lie down and let the world roll over you. It's a choice, you see, and not everyone has the guts to make it. Not everyone has the stomach to face their darkest days and keep going. But you do. You've got more fight in you than anyone realizes. The world can't break you because you're not a victim. You're not some fragile thing waiting to fall apart. You're a survivor. And no matter what the world throws at you, you keep moving forward. You know deep down that you've got what it takes. You're not defined by your past, by your failures, or by how hard things have been. You're defined by how you rise, by how you keep going, by how you prove everyone wrong when they expect you to stay down. So, here's the thing, the world might try to knock you down, but you're not going to let it, because you're not a victim, you're a survivor. And that makes all the difference. Ah, pain, everyone's favorite thing to talk about, right? So deliciously dark, so easy to wallow in. You know, pain's got a funny way of making you feel like you're the only one in the world who understands it. It creeps in, takes root, and before you know it, it's all you see. It's like a shadow that follows you, a constant companion that whispers in your ear. You're not good enough. You'll never get through this. It feeds off of you. It thrives on your weaknesses. You see, that's the trick with pain. It's not just something you feel in your body. It's something you let seep into your soul. It's easy to get lost in it, to think that it's the end of the story. To think that when the pain hits, that's it. The curtains fall. The world stops turning. You think, I'm done for. And just like that, you've handed over control. But here's the thing. Pain isn't a punishment. It's not some divine slap to remind you of how worthless you are. It's a teacher. Think about that for a second. A teacher. Not the kind of teacher that hands you a shiny certificate and tells you, well done. Oh no, this teacher doesn't give you any gold stars. This teacher doesn't make you feel warm and fuzzy. No, this teacher wants to see what you're made of. This teacher wants to test your limits, push you to the edge, see how much you can take before you break. It's brutal, it's ugly, but you know what? It's real. It's real in a way that nothing else is. It doesn't sugarcoat things, it doesn't offer excuses, it just is. And the lesson it's teaching you, resilience. When the pain comes, when the world feels like it's closing in, when you're sure that you can't take another step, that's when it's doing its work. That's when the lesson begins. You see, pain has a funny way of showing you who you really are. It strips away all the facades, all the stories you tell yourself about who you are, who you should be. Pain doesn't care about your excuses, your fears, your doubts. It doesn't care about the image you want to project to the world. Pain makes you face reality, and that reality, well, it's not always pretty, but it's yours. Pain doesn't ask for permission. It just arrives uninvited and forces you to see what you're really made of. The question is, how do you respond? Most people, when pain knocks on their door, they try to hide. They try to outrun it, mask it, numb it. They fill their lives with distractions, hoping that if they ignore it long enough, it'll go away. But that's the thing. Pain doesn't leave. It doesn't fade into the background like the other little annoyances in life. No, it sticks around. It stays with you until you face it, until you acknowledge that it's there and decide to learn from it. Because you can learn from it. In fact, you have to. Pain is the ultimate test. If you can survive it, if you can push through it and rise above it, then you're not the same person you were when you started. You're stronger, you're wiser, you're better. But most people don't see it that way. They let the pain control them. They let it define them, make them believe that they're weak, that they're broken. They let it tell them who they are and what they're capable of. They get stuck in it, trapped in this little box where they can't escape. But let me tell you something. Pain doesn't define you. You define you. Pain is just the test. How you respond to it, that's where your true power lies. The truth is, pain is the greatest teacher you'll ever have. It teaches you what you're really capable of. It forces you to dig deeper than you ever thought possible, to find that inner strength that you didn't even know existed. It shows you the parts of yourself that you've been ignoring, the parts that are stronger than you give credit for. Pain doesn't break you, it builds you. It reshapes you, refines you, turns you into something tougher, something that can handle the weight of the world. So the next time pain comes knocking, don't run, don't hide. Don't let it make you believe that you're anything less than what you are. Don't let it make you feel small. Because pain is only a teacher. It can only show you what you're capable of if you let it. Don't let it make you a victim. Let it make you a survivor. Let it make you stronger than you ever imagined you could be. Pain, pain, pain. It's the one thing you can always count on, right? No one gets out of life without it. And isn't it funny how people try so hard to avoid it? They run from it, cover it up, pretend it doesn't exist. Like if you ignore it long enough, it's just going to vanish into thin air. But that's not how it works, is it? You know, life has a way of smacking you in the face over and over again until you realize that the only way out isn't through a distraction or some quick fix. It's by embracing it. Now, I know what you're thinking. What kind of sick person wants to embrace pain? Well, trust me, if you really want to get ahead, if you want to understand who you really are, you've got to dive right into it. It's not the kind of pain that comes from a little stubbed toe or a scraped knee. No, we're talking about the kind of pain that cuts deep. The stuff that shakes you to your core, makes you question everything you've ever believed in. That's the kind of pain that brings clarity. That's the kind of pain that shapes you into something better. You see, the thing with pain is that it's not something that's meant to be avoided. People get so caught up in the idea that pain is bad that it's something to fear, something to run away from. But you know what happens when you do that? You stay stuck. You stay stuck in the same patterns, the same cycles, the same damn story. You'll never break free if you keep running away from what scares you. Pain isn't the enemy. It's the wake-up call. It's like the universe saying, "All right, here's the test, kid. Let's see what you've got." You get to decide whether you rise to it or cower beneath it. But one thing is certain, running away from it, hiding from it, only makes it worse. And you know that. Deep down, you know. The funny thing about pain is that it doesn't play by your rules. You can't control it, can't make it go away with a snap of your fingers. You can't drown it out with distractions, ignore it with busy work, or numb it with some substance. Nope, it doesn't care how much you try to escape. Pain's like an uninvited guest at a party who refuses to leave. It stays. It sticks around until you face it. And that's when the magic happens. When you finally sit with your pain, when you finally stop running, that's when you start to understand it. That's when you realize that it's not here to destroy you. It's here to teach you. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but I don't want to be taught by pain. I want things to be easy. I want peace. I want comfort. Sure, we all want that. Who wouldn't want to live in a world of bliss and sunshine, where everything falls into place? But that's not the real world. The real world is messy, it's unpredictable, it's full of highs and lows, twists and turns, and guess what? That's what makes it beautiful. That's what gives it meaning. You think you're going to find your purpose in life by playing it safe? By hiding from the things that scare you? Nah, that's not how it works. You're never going to find what you're capable of if you're too afraid to step into the ring. You're never going to know your true strength if you keep running from the pain that's meant to forge it. Pain is like fire. It burns, it scorches, it hurts like hell. But when it's done, when the smoke clears, you're left with something stronger than you were before. Something tougher. Something that can withstand whatever the world throws your way. So here's the thing. Stop running. Stop hiding. Stop pretending that pain isn't part of the process. Because it is. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you stop fearing it, the sooner you can get on with living. Pain is a teacher. It's a wake-up call. It's your moment to rise up, to become something greater than you ever thought possible. And sure, it's not going to be easy. It's going to hurt. It's going to make you question everything. But guess what? That's how you know you're on the right track. The path to growth is never smooth. It's jagged, it's rocky, it's painful as hell. But if you push through it, if you take it head on, you'll come out the other side stronger, wiser, and ready for whatever comes next. Because pain isn't the enemy. It's just the price you pay for progress. Oh, the sweet thrill of the chase. Life, huh? It's a game, a twisted, chaotic game. It promises all these things like riches, happiness, stability. It lures you in with shiny objects, the glimmering distractions that say, this is it, this is what you've been waiting for. But then, when you take that leap, when you finally get close enough to reach for what you've been promised, it slips away. Just like that. Because life is a trickster. It's playing you. It's playing all of us. And here's the kicker. It's not even trying to be sneaky about it. It's open about it. It's the world's biggest joke. And guess who's the punchline? You. Me. Everyone who believes that they're going to find the answers in the next thing, in the next opportunity, the next achievement. The truth? You're never going to find it. Never. People love to point out the goalposts in the distance. The perfect career, the perfect partner, the perfect lifestyle. You know, the things you're supposed to want. They'll tell you, just work hard enough, be good enough, be smart enough. So you run the race, you chase the dream, you do everything you're told, and guess what? When you get there, it's empty. It's a mirage. It's a big, fat nothing. You don't realize it at first, no. Because the closer you get, the more you get caught up in it. But the second you touch it, when you finally reach that goal, you start to feel it. That hollow, empty feeling in your chest. You start to wonder, is this really it? And the answer, my friend, is no. Why? Because the thing you were really chasing wasn't the goal. It was the feeling of satisfaction, the feeling of accomplishment. You were chasing the high, the illusion that something outside of you was going to make you feel whole. But here's the thing. No one ever told you that it doesn't work that way. Nothing outside of you is going to make you whole. No achievement, no person, no material possession. You could have it all, but you'll still be left with that nagging emptiness in the pit of your stomach, won't you? Because like a good joke, life plays on your expectations. It pulls the rug out from under you, makes you laugh, and leaves you wondering why you even tried in the first place. It's the joke of the century. All that effort, all that blood, sweat, and tears for what? So you can tick off some boxes? So you can satisfy a checklist of what you think your life is supposed to look like? Pathetic. Here's the bitter pill you need to swallow. The chase, the race, the fight, it's all a distraction. It's not even real. The moment you stop chasing, the moment you stop looking outside of yourself for the answers, that's when you'll start to get it. That's when you'll see the big picture. It's right in front of you, always has been, but you were too busy running to notice. And let's talk about those moments when you think you've finally cracked it, huh? You've reached that point where you feel like you've figured it out. But life, in all its twisted glory, comes crashing back in. It throws a curveball at you, something you weren't expecting. It laughs in your face as if to say, "You think you've got this figured out? Oh, my dear friend, you're just starting." And suddenly, the illusion is shattered. Everything you thought you knew, everything you thought was important, gets turned on its head. You're left wondering if it's even worth trying anymore. But here's the real question. Is it worth trying to play the game by their rules, by anyone's rules? Do you really want to keep chasing things that were never meant for you in the first place? What if, just what if, the trick is realizing there is no finish line? What if you stop chasing the illusion and start living for the pure chaos of it all? Because deep down, you know it's all a game. Life isn't about collecting things, ticking off lists, or pleasing anyone else. Life is about surviving the chaos, dancing with the madness, and embracing the unpredictable ride. When you finally see the world for what it truly is, a giant joke, a relentless circus of absurdity, you start to laugh. You start to laugh because you realize it's all just a performance. You're the star of the show, the audience, and the punchline all at once. The sooner you stop trying to win the game, the sooner you let go of all the rules, the sooner you'll see the beauty in it all. The pain, the heartbreak, the chaos. When you stop fighting it, when you stop trying to make sense of it, that's when the magic happens. So, you want to know what the game is? It's not about winning. It's not about success. It's not about anything you've been told it's about. It's about being able to laugh, to find joy in the absurdity. Because in the end, that's all we really have, isn't it? Just a joke. And our ability to laugh at it. Ah, the beauty of desperation, isn't it? The way it hits you right when you least expect it. You're cruising along, thinking you have things figured out, thinking you're in control. But then, bam! You're pulled down into this whirlpool of thoughts, feelings, doubts, fears. You feel it creeping in, don't you? The panic, the weight of everything you should have done, could have done but didn't. And the kicker? The more you fight it, the worse it gets. It's like trying to swim in quicksand. The more you struggle, the deeper you sink. What a cruel joke, huh? The more you desperately claw for control, the further you get from it. You can feel the madness just on the edge of your mind, whispering to you. You can't escape it. You can't outrun it. So you go ahead and drown. And oh, what a beautiful mess it is. But let me tell you, my dear, the world isn't as concerned with your struggles as you think it is. Life doesn't give a damn about your desperate need for answers, for peace, for stability. It's too busy throwing chaos your way to even notice. And you know what? That's exactly how it should be. Because the world doesn't owe you understanding. It doesn't owe you anything. And the moment you realize that, the moment you truly get it, is when the game changes. You see, there's this insane trick life plays on you. It convinces you that everything you want, everything you think you need, is somewhere out there just waiting for you to find it. It makes you think that if you could just figure it all out, if you could just make the right choices, everything would suddenly make sense. But here's the catch. It doesn't work like that. Life isn't some neatly packaged story with a beginning, middle, and end. No. Life is a mess. A chaotic, unpredictable, laugh-out-loud kind of mess. And that's the part we all miss. We spend our time looking for the pieces to fit, trying to make sense of it all, trying to impose meaning onto the madness. But the truth is, there is no sense. There's no meaning, no reason. It's all just happening. And you're along for the ride. You might think you're the one in the driver's seat, but you're not. Life's driving you, spinning you around in circles, taking you places you never even thought you'd go. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you can stop trying to control it. You stop fighting the current and start riding it. And oh, how freeing that is. You stop making yourself crazy by trying to figure out the next step. You stop stressing over things you can't control, things you'll never be able to control. You let go. You let go of the fear of being lost, of being uncertain, because, my friend, being lost is where the magic happens. Being uncertain is where you find out who you really are. It's in those moments when everything falls apart that the truth is finally revealed to you. And let me tell you something. You don't have to have it all figured out to enjoy the ride. You don't need to be in control of every little thing. In fact, it's better that way. It's better to let go, to fall into the madness, to embrace the chaos. Now, let's talk about the way the world pushes you, huh? The way it makes you feel like you have to have everything together, like you have to be perfect, like there's some kind of checklist you have to follow to be worthy of success, of happiness, of peace. What a load of crap. The truth is, perfection doesn't exist. It's a lie, a twisted joke the world plays on you to keep you chasing something that isn't real. They'll tell you that you're not enough, that you need to be more, do more, have more. But that's just the setup. The punchline? You're already enough. Right now. Just as you are. The only thing standing in your way is the belief that you're not. The only thing holding you back is the idea that you have to be something else. But let me tell you, you don't. You don't have to change a damn thing. All you need to do is let go of the idea that you're not good enough. Let go of the expectations. Let go of the guilt. Let go of the fear of failing. Because once you do, that's when the magic happens. And that's the joke of it all, isn't it? You've been tricked into thinking that you're not enough, that you need more, that you need to become someone else. But the reality is, you're already there. You're already enough. The only thing you need to do is stop looking outside of yourself for answers. Stop thinking that happiness, success, fulfillment, they're all somewhere out there waiting for you to catch up. No, it's right here, right now. You're not broken. You're not lost. You're just waiting for the punchline. And trust me, it's going to be worth the wait. I mean, have you ever wondered what it's like to really feel alive? Not that little spark of, ooh, look at me, I'm doing something right alive, but the kind of living that makes you feel like you could just explode. That raw, chaotic, heart-racing, gut-punching experience that makes you question everything, but in the best possible way. You know, the kind of feeling that makes you forget about all those little rules and expectations everyone keeps throwing at you. Yeah, that kind of living. Now, you probably think you know what I'm talking about. You think you've felt it before, right? Those moments when you're on top of the world, like everything is finally falling into place, and you can't help but feel like you're winning the game. But then, you hit a wall. Boom. Just like that. All the momentum, all that buzz you had going, gone, like a light switch. 1 second you're flying high, and the next you're tumbling down into the abyss. What happened? You were doing everything right, weren't you? You had your plan, your steps laid out. But here's the thing, life doesn't care about your plan. It's going to toss you around like a rag doll, make you question everything, and in the end, it's going to laugh in your face. It's like this twisted game where you think you're in control, but you're not at all. So what do? Do you sit there and cry? Do you complain about how unfair life is? You could. But let me tell you, that's not the winning move. No. See, the trick is to embrace the chaos. That's right. Embrace it. Don't run from it. Don't hide in the corner like some scared little child hoping it'll just go away. Chaos is the game. It's the secret ingredient. And you need to figure out how to play it, how to use it, how to turn it to your advantage. Life throws curveballs? Great. Be the one who swings for the fences. You get knocked down? Perfect. Get back up and start swinging again. You'll get hit, you'll get bruised, you'll get broken, but that's where you find your power, my friend. The mess, the pain, the struggle, that's where you realize you're still standing. That's where you see the real you, the person who isn't afraid to go through the fire. The one who isn't afraid to feel every ounce of hurt, every ounce of fear, and still keep going. You can't fake that. You can't act your way through that. That's the stuff that builds character, the kind of character you need to take on whatever life throws your way. But here's the real kicker, the one thing that always gets people, the thing that will make or break you in this madness of life. It's the moment you stop caring about the outcome. Yeah, that's right. I'm talking about giving up on the idea that there's a right way to do things. That's the trap, see? Everyone's trying to figure it all out. They're trying to control the outcome, trying to predict the future, and it's all a joke. A big, fat, ugly joke. Because you're never going to have it all figured out. You're never going to have complete control. Life is chaos, and it always will be. But that's okay. In fact, that's beautiful. The trick is to stop trying to predict what's coming next. Let go of the illusion that if you just do everything right, things will work out the way you think they should. Let go of the need for certainty. Instead, take the leap. Let yourself be uncertain. Let yourself fall into the unknown. That's where the magic happens. That's where you start to really live. When you stop being afraid of what might happen, when you stop worrying about where the path is taking you, that's when you truly start living. And don't give me that crap about wanting to be safe. Safety is a lie. You can't be safe and expect to grow. You can't stay in your little bubble and expect to experience the kind of life that'll make your heart race, the kind of life that'll make you feel truly alive. Safety? Safety is a cage, and you're sitting in it, letting the world pass you by. So get out of it. Throw yourself into the madness. Let it swallow you whole. Let it beat you down, chew you up, and spit you out. And when you get up, you'll be stronger, tougher, because you didn't run from the chaos. You danced with it. You lived it. And you know what? It's all a game. A big, sick, twisted game. The rules are made up as we go along, and nobody ever gets it right. But that's the fun part, right? The unpredictability, the not knowing. You don't know what's coming next, and neither does anyone else. But that's where the excitement is. That's where you find out what you're made of. That's where the fun begins. So stop trying to figure everything out. Stop obsessing over every little detail. Laugh at the unpredictability, get knocked down, get up again, and keep going. Because that's all there is. That's the real secret. That's the magic. The rest is just noise. Ah, yes. Let's talk about control, shall we? Everyone wants control, don't they? It's like this little shiny, precious thing people hold on to like it's their lifeline, like it's the only thing that's going to keep them from falling apart. But here's the funny thing. Control is an illusion, a beautiful, glittering illusion that everyone chases, but no one ever really catches. I mean, sure, you can try to grip onto everything, trying to make sense of it all, trying to make life go exactly the way you want it. You can plan, organize, structure every single detail. And for a moment, you might even feel like you've got it all together. But guess what? Life doesn't care about your plans. It doesn't care about your neat little boxes, your schedules, your to-do lists. It doesn't give a damn about your need to feel safe and secure. And when it all crumbles, when the floor falls out from under you, don't act surprised. That's just the way it goes, isn't it? You try to build your little fortress, you try to surround yourself with certainty, and life comes in like a wrecking ball, smashing everything you thought you had under its heel. Now, I can hear you asking, what's the point then? If I can't control it, what's the point of even trying? And let me tell you something. You can keep fighting, you can keep grasping for control, and it'll keep slipping through your fingers. It's like trying to catch smoke with your bare hands. But here's the beautiful thing. You don't need control. You don't need to have every single little thing figured out. What you need is to understand that the game is chaos. And when you stop trying to control it all, that's when you start playing it. That's when you start winning. People say you should never let go of control, that you should always be the one pulling the strings. But let me ask you something. What happens when you're holding on to the strings for dear life and life decides to yank them from your hands? What then? You get stuck. You get frozen. You get paralyzed by the fear of losing it all. But if you can learn to let go, if you can learn to stop fighting against the current, you might just find that there's freedom in the chaos. You see, when you let go of control, you open yourself up to possibilities you never thought existed. You stop limiting yourself with all these boundaries you've put up and start realizing that anything can happen. Everything can happen. And that, my friend, is where the fun begins. You think you're the one making the choices? Oh, how cute. But guess what? It's all one big game of chance. You can plan all you want, but life's gonna throw some unexpected curveballs your way. And when that happens, when things fall apart, when you feel like the rug's been pulled out from under you, you have two choices. You can either cling harder to your precious control and fight against the storm, or you can take a deep breath, look at the mess, and decide that it's okay. It's okay to not have all the answers. It's okay to be lost. It's okay to not know what's next. The only thing you need to do is keep going, keep moving, keep breathing, because the moment you stop trying to control everything is the moment you open yourself up to the chaos. And believe me, that's when the magic happens. Imagine this. Life isn't some neat, predictable story with a beginning, middle, and end. It's a mess, a beautiful, unpredictable, nonsensical mess. And when you stop trying to map it out, when you stop trying to make everything fit into your little boxes, you start living. You start experiencing things you never thought possible. You start realizing that the uncertainty, the unpredictability, it's what makes life worth living. That's what gives it flavor, that little spice of not knowing what's coming next. That's where the real adventure is. And you know what's funny? The more you try to control it, the more you're just holding yourself back from experiencing the true depth of what's possible. You're trying to live in a world that doesn't exist, and it's costing you everything. I know it's hard. Believe me, I get it. Letting go of control isn't easy. It feels like you're giving up, like you're handing your life over to the chaos and hoping it doesn't swallow you whole. But here's the truth. It's not giving up. It's freedom. It's freedom to take risks, to make mistakes, to fail and fall and get back up again. It's the freedom to embrace the unknown and take life on your own terms. So stop holding onto your little illusion of control like it's some kind of shield. Stop acting like it's the only thing that's keeping you safe, because it's not. It's just a cage. And the key is in your hand. You want to be free? Then let go. Let go of the need to control every little thing. Let go of the fear of what might happen if things don't go according to plan. Let life surprise you. Let it knock you down, pick you up, and throw you in every direction. Because in the end, the only control you have is how you react to it. And that's the only thing that matters.